Hey, y'all, it's Billy Ball Explains North Carolina. Let's talk about the less sentimental, less heroic, but altogether more realistic reason for why Senator Thom Tillis is breaking ranks with Trump right now and saying he won't run for re election in 2026. Tillis probably wasn't going to win in 2026. Let's make it simple. Midterm elections can be very hard for the people in the president's party, especially if the president is polarizing. Trump is all of that in a bag of chips. And to make matters worse, Tillis isn't particularly popular with Trump voters. Even if he survived the Republican primary against whichever MAGA candidate Trump endorses in 2026, and that's a big if, beating the Democrat in the 2026 general election was going to be hard, especially if it's a popular Democrat like former Governor Roy Cooper or Attorney General Jeff Jackson, two candidates who've had their names connected to the 2026 Senate race. It'll almost certainly be Cooper. 2026 was going to be a nightmare for Tillis, so he's getting out of it. You can call that heroic or whatever. It's probably just pragmatic. Over the last 10 years, Tillis has gotten an image as a real waffler for taking various stands against Trump and then promptly backing down. For a lot of people on the right and the left, it simply didn't mean much when Tillis said things. Take the infamous Access Hollywood tape, in which then candidate Trump boasted about assaulting women. Back then, Tillis said Trump should, quote, apologize to women everywhere and that it was, quote, indefensible. But at the same time, Tillis continued to support Trump as he ran for president. That right there set the tone for the next decade of Tillis and Trump. No matter what Tillis said, no matter how much he complained about Trump, when it came time to vote, Tillis voted with Trump on his controversial cabinet picks, Supreme Court confirmation, on impeachment after the January 6th attack on the Capitol. So let's not give Tillis that old maverick handle we used to give out to people like the late John McCain. Even if Tillis can cut a roguish figure from time to time, like this clip from November 2024, when he clashed with his Republican colleagues over their attempts to amend a hurricane relief bill that North Carolina desperately needed.
Look, our state motto is esse quam videre. It says to be rather than to seem. I came to the Senate to make a difference, not to make a point.
Now, a lot of people are going to look at that video and say, who is that Thom Tillis? We didn't see enough of that Thom Tillis or this Thom Tillis.
All right. So what do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years or 3 years when President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid because the funding's not there anymore, guys?
Now, let's talk about what this actually means for North Carolinians, because all of that is just politics. It's a lot of sound and fury. In theory, it means that folks can expect a senator who's less concerned about doing what his political party wants him to do and more concerned about what his constituents want him to do. Tillis says he can spend the rest of his term just calling balls and strikes, which begs the obvious question: what have you been doing for the last 10 years in Washington? In the long term, though, it can't really be good news for North Carolina. It means the Republican primary for this Senate seat will be as noisy and messy as we've ever seen it. It means, in all likelihood, the primary will be less about policy and what makes people's lives better or worse, and more about big, angry personalities who make Trump happy or sad or mad or whatever. It's all reality TV politics. We're talking people like Laura Trump, the president's controversial daughter-in-law and Fox News host, Michelle Morrow, the former school superintendent candidate who talked loudly and often about violent stuff, and even Mark Robinson. Don't say his name 3 times or he'll show up. He's like Beetlejuice, who was accused of writing some things on the internet that I can't say here because this is a family-friendly space. If you like this, sign up for my free daily newsletter at Cardinal and Pine, where I break down the news of the day and tell you what it means for people who don't spend all their time reading Politico or hanging out on 24-hour cable news networks. We'll link to the sign-up page in the comments or in our bio.